Okay, so a quick tutorial on image planes so that you can get the front and sides of your sculpture correct. First thing you want to do is you're going to open up the draw window and you're going to dock this to the right by hitting this small circle up here. Okay, so now it places it over here. Okay, and we're going to end up focusing on this area here, this box. Okay, that I'm circling right now. Alright, so right here is the floor grid. So what you're going to want to do is turn on X, Y, and Z, all three of them, and then turn on the floor. And what that does is it opens each one of these grids, and I'll show you. So you can turn them all off or turn them all on. Okay, so right there. So now I need a photograph so that I can match up the head and clean it up further. So down here we're going to go to front to back. You click on that and open it up. It has two maps, map 1 and map 2. We're only going to use map 1 for this. Okay, so when you click on this box, it's going to take you to the photographs. You can select one, so we're going to import a photograph. Go to my desktop. I believe it's in Greg's head. We're going to use the corrected head. These have been cleaned up and corrected with the color and everything. So we're going to select this. And that's going to put it on the front view. Okay, a little big, but we'll fix that here in a second. Alright, so now that was for the front and back. So now we're going to go and we're going to go down here. There's these couple of selections right here, so we're going to go from left to right. Using the left to right, it's the same thing. You have map 1 and map 2. So we're going to go with map 1. Okay, and we're going to pick my side view of my head. Hit open. Okay, so now we've got them, and they're both set up orthographically to the head. Alright, now map 2, for each one of these different selectors that you can do, for front, back, up, down, and left, right, you can use the second map to do the opposite side. So if I wanted to do, say, the left side of my head instead of a picture of my right, I could use the left side picture and put it in map 2, and when you turn this around, it's going to show the opposite side picture. Okay, so that way you can even get more accurate. Alright, so now that we've got these, they're too huge. So in order to fix that, what we're going to do is we're going to go right here to snap, which I'm circling on the right. Okay, so we hit snap, and I'm going to snap it to mesh. And what that does is it puts it to the size of the actual sculpture. Okay, it makes it pretty close. It's still going to need further adjustment, but right there at least it's closer to the size that we're looking for. So if I go to the front back, well, before I do this, actually, let's go ahead and shut that. I need to be able to see that picture on front of it, not just behind it. So how I'm going to do that is you go up to fill mode right here. Okay, and I'm going to turn fill mode up. You do 2, and then you do 3. And what it does is it projects through the sculpture. So now I can see it. But now we need to move that. So I'm going to go to front back again right here. And I'm going to use my vertical and horizontal offsets to move it in place into my face and match them up. Get them as close as I possibly can. I'm moving a little closer. Okay, so it seems a little bit small. So now I'm going to scale up my head picture to try and get it to fit a little bit better. I'm just trying to get it as close as I can. Doesn't have to be perfect for this. so let's check. Well, it's definitely fighting with me, but that's pretty close. The idea is to try and get the shapes lined up so that I can work on them a little bit. Mainly the head, and get the ears in place. And do the same with the side view. So that would be under left, right. Okay. Move forward a little bit, put it up. Well, the angle's a little off, so actually, not sure. I would like to match up the eyes better, but this at least lets me know that my eyes might be in the wrong place on my sculpture. And triangle just a little bit. Okay, so that's showing me that I'm close, but my eyes are a little off, the nose is a little off. Okay. Make sure that I'm straight. Yep, totally straight. Orthographic. Okay, let's shut the perspective off. Ah, that was a mistake. Alright, so perspective should have been off in the first place. And that's why I was having a hard time lining things up. So because of the perspective being on, it made it a terrible mistake and made the shapes all wrong, and now nothing fits. So we're going to go back and I'm going to fix it real quick. Okay, so scale it down a little bit. That's a little bit better. That's fitting much better. Okay. So, oops. Wrong button. Alright. Well, this just went south real fast. Okay, so I screwed up, so I'm going to hit snap to mesh again and just start over and clean it up. Okay, so that's pretty close. Okay, left to right, I'm going to go back in. Scale that down a little bit. That's pretty close. So in doing so, now that's really close in both directions. But somehow I messed up my grid size. Okay, so snap it back to the mesh. I think it was this. Yep, I want to get this a lot closer. Hit that by accident, so we see elevation, or yeah, grid elevation. Snap it back. Just to make sure. Alright. As we can see, that my lips don't line up with the sculpture, so the sculpture lips are going to need to be moved. Okay. Before they do that, I don't want to trash the nose at all. I don't want to move the nose, so I'm going to go ahead and mask it off. Right now I'm looking for the transparency. I believe there's a transparency for this. So I want to turn it down. There we go. Okay, so enhance opacity. So what I'm looking at is where the crease of the lip is in both directions here on the picture versus the sculpture. Now I'm curious because I'm going to look at the side view. My lips need to come back a little bit. The nose seems in place. The eyes are wrong. The ears are close. Everything else, all the anatomy is really close. It's very possible that the scale needs to be a little bit bigger. Might actually fit better. Let's see. Left to right. I'm going to change the scale a little bit. Trying to match up my lips right now. Trying to discount my beard, of course, and line up my nose holes with my eyes at the same time. And that's a lot closer. Okay, so now we can start moving some things around. So it's mostly the center of my lips that aren't in the right place. So I'm going to pull these back a little bit. I'm going to grab from the center of my lip and just pull it down a little bit. Now we'll look at the front. So the crease in my lip on my sculpture is almost above my second lip. So I'm going to make this brush bigger and grab this right here and bring it down to my lip size. Does that look a little weird? Okay. What I'm finding is I like the bottom lip. And I need to move the upper lip. And of course I am botching this demo. Now the two pictures aren't exactly the same or perfectly orthographic, so I have to compromise and pick what I like about either one and set them so that I'm happy with the way it's looking. Right now I know my upper lip needs to come out just a little bit, I think. So I'm just going to try to pull it out just a smidge. There we go. I think it looks nothing like me, but hopefully you get the idea. And you can continue to do this until you get the look of your character or yourself. as close as possible. So I'm going to clean up some of these spots here from me moving things around. Play with my opacity a little bit. So the lips on this side need to go just a little further out. There we go. Now the eyes seeming like in the right spots, the ears are close. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak the nose a little bit. 1 second though. Try and place it where it belongs, or it needs to be. I'd say that's pretty good. And now I'm going to tweak the eyes just a little bit. So this is something you're just going to have to finesse until you get it as good as you possibly can. I always what I call orbit, like say a sphere or something, like right this is round. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to orbit the sphere at the edge of the horizon of it. So that way I can see how far I need to pull the material out around it evenly all the way around. Now I know the painting's off in the background, or the picture of me, but that's okay. The whole point is get the head looking as close as you possibly can. So that way then you can go in and try to finish sculpting it. And move on to your secondary forms. So I'm just tweaking these the way that I think they should look. Of course I'm going to need to go in and doctor the nose a little bit, all that kind of stuff. So but that's pretty much the hardware over here for setting up the image planes and using it to work on your face. We can move the ear here a little bit, line it up better. You know, you're supposed to guesstimate in between the two things here, because it is two different pictures. I mean, they're close for what we did, the way that we scanned this using the program that we used. There you go. I'll shut that off. And that's where I want to be right now. And this is the part where I would go in and start cleaning it up a little further and preparing to work on my secondary detail. Okay.